I live in a rural area, and when the sun goes down, the delivery trucks get lost. No town lights to guide them. Hello, we're back on the porch today, and those of you who saw the hangman gallows plant hangers from a couple weeks ago, you might recall my porch is in dire need of curb appeal. This rustic little gem will help, not just with the look, but with those drivers who keep getting lost at night. And out here, no, the GPS doesn't help. Now, I made mine from scrap wood. You could just as easily, well, honestly, easier, use a fence picket, pressure treated, or cedar. It doesn't really matter. You can change it up, go vertical, or horizontal, modern, or in my case, craftsman. That's why I've got different widths and thicknesses here. A more modern look would be to make the faceplate all one piece. All I'm doing right now is marking where I want to cut these slats. I'm going for a staggered look, trying to give it some much needed depth and texture. I'll cut them quickly at the miter saw and we can slide right into the faceplate glue up. I'm using Titebond 3 here. I'm just gluing the faceplate together, clamping it up, and then I'll let it dry while I work on the rest of the build. We'll roll over to the table saw where we're going to need to get a little more creative to rip the stock we need. Basically, I'm making a flat, narrow box that'll sit behind the faceplate we just clamped up. Starting with the sides of the box, I rip the rounded edges off a 2x4 to square it up, then cut 3 strips at 3/4 inches. I'll take one of those strips and rip it down to 1 1/4 inch. Later, I'll cut this one into 2 4-inch pieces. The other 2 strips, they go back to the table saw to cut a 1/4 inch rabbet along one edge. It'll take several passes with the narrow blade that I have. Next, I grab a second 2x4. I square off the edges yet again, then stand it up on the narrow edge. Out comes the featherboard to hold it tight, and I run it through. I also use it to set my cutting width, going for a 1/4 inch slats. I rip halfway through, flip the board, and do the same on the other side. I need 2 of these. Then I rip them down to 2 inches wide. Back at the bench, everything's laid out. The 2 sides, 16 inches by 1.5 by 3 1/4 with rabbets facing in. The 2 ends, 4 inches by 1 1/4 by 3/4 inches. 2 back panels, 16 inches by 2 inches by just a 1/4 inch. And of course, our faceplate, roughly 18 inches long by 5.5 wide. Glue up number 2 goes real quick. Honestly, I haven't had something square up this easily in forever. Again, I'm using Titebond 3, waterproof since this will live outside. Out of brads, I shoot 1.5 inch finish nails into the ends, and surprisingly, no blowouts this time. Setting that aside to dry, I move on to the address layout. This size works well for 2 or 3 digits, and no, this is not my actual address. I kind of wish I had used a different font here, but more on that at the end. It'll make more sense then. I chose 4-inch numbers and used a glue stick to tack them down and cut them as needed. Once I liked the placement, I moved to the scroll saw. I drilled some holes in the corners to allow for turning of the blade. Honestly, this went much smoother than I expected. But next time, I'll just trace the numbers on. The paper peeling was not my finest point. The end result? Not as clean as I had hoped for. Not yet, but I'm sure we can fix that. Files and sandpaper come out, and I clean up the lines and roll over the edges. It takes a few minutes, but being pine, it sands easily enough. Okay, the back slabs fit. This is looking tight. A lot slimmer than I had pictured it. I think we can screw it straight to the 4x4 post on my porch. I originally thought it would be too bulky and I'd have to kick it off to the side. But now I think it'll look sharp just screwed directly in. But here's the problem. I just can't wait any longer. That little question mark in the intro, what was it covering? This, a solar LED system. I think it was like $3 and it's been charging all day. And well, the whole project, it sort of comes down to this. Will it work? Will the numbers be legible? Or do I have a box with a 47 on it that I have no idea what I'm going to do? I don't know, but it's time. I'm going to throw it all in here, turn it on, walk over and turn the lights off. I absolutely love this thing. So much better than I had thought it would be. It's great. I can't stop smiling. Just glad you can't see how dumb I look right now. I mean, seriously. I am high-fiving the shadows. If you love this as much as I do, all right, probably impossible. But hit the like, subscribe, and comment so I can keep these projects coming to you. It's the only way we can beat that dreaded algae rhythm. My mind is spinning with the possibilities right now. All right, the lights are back on. It's time to wrap this one up. I mean, literally. I chisel a small notch out of the top of the box so I can feed the wire in or out. Then glue, tight bond 3 again, and 1 staple on each end of the back. On the back side of the faceplate, I put 4 screws, 1¼ inches. Careful not to go all the way through the front. Then I wrap the wire around. The idea here is, in theory, it should keep the lights more even, making the numbers more clear. Lights off again, and yeah, I like that better. The finish goes on easy enough. Remember, this is not my address, so I'm just going to wipe a quick coat of dark walnut on, nice and rustic, and call it quits. But for a final project, seal it with a couple coats of exterior poly though. I tested this. 30 feet visibility is solid even with these numbers. Now I haven't cut my final faceplate yet, so I'll be switching fonts. Something wider, bolder, probably 5-inch letters. But overall, I love this one. I'm going to hang it up using screws right into the 4x4 post. There's a tiny hole for the power cable to come out. Just angle that little panel toward the south if you can. That way it gets sunlight during the day. My Christmas lights run on the same kind of solar setup, and they've worked for 3 years now. As you can tell, I love this one. I mean, this is why I got back into woodworking, why I started the channel. I hope I inspired you to get out and build something this week. Let me know in the comments, are you going vertical, horizontal, modern, or craftsman? As always, please like, subscribe, and comment anything and everything. It costs nothing to join the fun, and each click of that button helps the channel grow. Until the next time.